So we'll lead right into that. Citizens Union supports easier access to the ballot for candidates running for office. As a first-time candidate in gathering petition signatures and trying to gain access to the ballot, which you successfully did, can you tell us what specifically you would reform about ballot access and the election law?
Well, on the very basic level, I think we should lower the petition requirement. I did get a lot of signatures in this race. I thought it was important, considering the dynamics of this race, to do that. The fact is, Senator Conner's been challenged a couple times before in his career. Both challengers had to go to the highest court in the state in order to get on the ballot, and I thought it was very important that I'd be able to compete here before voters out on the street. So it was a very important part of this campaign. The fact is, the signature requirement should probably be lower. Many of the sort of arcane rules and precedent that has come up around what's a valid versus an invalid signature, what's a valid or invalid witness, should be simplified. There's a whole sorts of other questions. We should look at what other states do as well. Some states, small number of very low contributions, $5 or less, is another way onto the ballot. We should consider whether the period to gather signatures should be longer or should be a certain period based on when you get your first signature to when you get your last signature. So there's a number of ways to do it. I think that one big part of it is having same-day voter registration. Actually makes a difference, not so much in terms of obviously getting onto the ballot, but in terms of who's able to participate in the process, which is equally important and which we don't have. You know, Oregon has mail-in ballots now,
30 seconds.
And that works incredibly well. The percentage of people who vote there has significantly higher than what we have here. So there's a variety of ways the process needs to be simplified. The barriers to entry for challengers and for voters need to be brought down.
Thank you. Senator, I'll give you a minute to respond to his answer about ballot access.
Yeah, it's something I know a little bit about.
Okay.
I'm very proud of the fact that when I was first elected, I said I wanted to simplify the way people get on ballots. And let me tell you, we have made it much simpler. Not there yet, but once upon a time, there were all sorts of technicalities, and it's still the myth in the press. You'll read the press stories that say, oh, you'll get thrown off, the signature will be thrown out for the wrong coloring. No such rule. Or you haven't needed a middle initial in 40 years by statute. And you can use Mr. and Miss. So all the mythical rules don't exist. What we did eliminate was the requirement that signatories have to have an ED and an AD stated next to their name. We eliminated most of the information that was required in witness statements that used to trip people up and throw out whole signatures. So we've made it much simpler. We didn't go as far as I wanted to go in my leading reform bill, which would have abolished subscribing witness requirements whatsoever and cut the number of signatures, and in fact you could have the petition clearly stated in simple language, because now it's gobbledygook saying, put Dan Squadron on the ballot, and people could just sign it, and you didn't need a witness. That's a bill I carried for many years. Okay. So I think it's important. We've made a lot of progress compared to where we were 10 or 20 years ago, but cutting the number of signatures is the big